Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whatever the I Want podcast, where I, your host, Gabby, get to talk about whatever the I want. Woo! Cue the applause. Today, bro, we just started. And today, I have a very, very special guest. I have my sister, Gio. Welcome to the podcast.
Glad to be here.
Happy to have you here. So today's episode is going to be called Sister Talks, and she was like, so what are you going to ask me? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, that's how I am. Very much so go with the flow. So, what's life been like? You moved out recently.
I did.
Yeah, how's that been?
It's been good.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. I've lived at home with mom and dad for a long time since I came out the womb.
Basically.
So it feels really good.
Yeah. Do you feel like there was any adjustment period at all? Or like you feel like it was kind of like you have your own space and just like full blown, just like fell into it, you know?
I think for me, I hit reality when I went to go grocery shopping at like 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I don't have to text, mom and dad, wherever I was, like what time to get home. I think that. But then I brought up to mom and dad, they're like, you didn't text me regardless. You're right.
You can leave the house.
But I don't know. It was definitely something new and exciting. And it was definitely an adjustment. But I got used to it pretty quick.
Yeah.
So it felt like a daydream.
Yeah.
Like it just felt so unreal. Like out of touch reality. That's how it felt.
Mm-hmm. And this is your first time ever really having a roommate.
Yes.
Which is her boyfriend. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah. So like what's that been like? Like this is your first relationship where you've ever lived with somebody.
I know.
Yeah. So what's that been like?
It's been really good. I really like it. I think for me, I tell Cameron all the time, which Cameron's my boyfriend. We just started dating. I just met him actually.
I don't know who Cameron is, but
no, but I think for him, I always tell him like if I am not being a good roommate, let me know, because like we had to set rules and stuff like that. Because I'm like, I've never lived with anyone besides my parents, and I live upstairs by myself, so it's like really...
Yeah, you're not really interacting too much like that. It's not like,
It's been really good.
I feel like, because I've lived with two partners now, I think it's been very different with each one, and I feel like every person that you date brings out a different side of you. Isn't that like so crazy?
I do believe that. Yeah.
But like, I also feel like being the oldest daughter, I have this need to like nurture, take care of people and to like cook and to like, and so I feel like I start putting a lot of pressure onto myself, and I'm like, damn, I'm like acting like my mom, I'm like, I feel like I need to cook and I need to clean, I need to do like everything. And then I overwhelm myself. Have you felt like overwhelmed at all with like house duties? Do you feel like, I mean, it's pretty split even between the both of y'all, right?
I feel like Cameron picks up most of the slack. I mean, he cooks more than me.
Yeah. He does have more days off than you usually, though.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. We work kind of like similar hours, I feel like, because they work 24, I work 12. But I don't know. I feel like he picks up what I'm lacking, and then I'll pick up what he's lacking, just depending. But I feel like for the most part, he does a lot.
So she met her partner on Hinge. I met mine on Hinge as well. That was your first dating app, just like
it
me,
was.
Right? Yeah. So what was that like, dating online?
I was against it for a while. I was like, oh, people use a dating app, like all this.
Yeah.
You found your person. And I was like, why not?
Yeah.
So then I did. I mean, I went on a couple dates, and I knew like the first dates or whatever, I was like, oh yeah, that's not my person. Mm-hmm. But with Cameron, it felt so different. Yeah. He brought out another side where I'm like, wow, I want more of it. A fun side. Like you're like healing my childhood self in a sense. Like he brought a childlike self out of me. If that makes any type of sense.
Yeah, from what she was telling me, like on a lot of her dates, they were like nice people, and for the most part, people were trying to almost like impress her. But when it came to your first date with Cameron, it was just like fun.
Yeah.
It was just like pure fun. And that's not to say you didn't have fun on some of your other dates, because like, you know, you'd gone jet skiing or whatever. Like you had like fun with people, but this was like right out of the, and that was like your second or third date with that person, I think, right? Or was that your first date
for the jet skiing one?
Yeah.
No, it was my first date with them.
Oh, okay. So, which is funny. This is so funny. She did that with my childhood crush. This guy was like my childhood crush, and then she's like, "Guess I went on a date with," but like I don't think you might have known, but it's not like any of that matters.
I think I told you that after.
We're just from such a small town that it's just like we're exposed to the same people at such different phases. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And like in terms of like church and school, you know, like we might have like seen people, but not really known like, oh, that's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've heard of that person, but like, is this that person kind of thing?
Because we grew up with his sister. So I didn't even know, like I had told you and you're like, oh yeah, his little sister is this. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh, I know exactly who this is.
Yeah. It's like so crazy, especially because like, so we're from a very small town called Belgrade, and it's in South Florida, and there's such a wide range of towns. Like people either go so far south to like Miami, or people that you know who are from Belgrade or in Tallahassee. Yeah. So it's like, you know, somebody all throughout Florida who's from Belgrade. And then so it's just kind of like, wait a minute, I've seen you before. Like I've heard of you. Yeah. Or like after a while you're like, oh shit, like you're from there. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. What do you miss anything about living in Belgrade?
I want to say how close we were to like grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
I feel like when they lived out there, I mean, they lived there again, but like it was always, we saw family pretty often.
Yeah.
It was like every weekend type of thing. I remember like grandpa going over, us having crab legs every Sunday. Like it was such an exciting time. And I felt like we were surrounded by so much family.
Yeah.
But coming out here, it's like everything's out here now.
Yeah.
You know, so it just makes more sense. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I think for me, I completely agree with you. I loved that we were basically having cookouts like every single weekend. Mm-hmm. It was like, I feel like sometimes even like Friday and Saturday, it would be like, okay, we're going to this house for this, and then we have a birthday party over here. And so we lived really close to like a lot of our cousins. We were probably like 10 minutes away. I mean, we were at that point like 10 minutes away from grandma and grandpa, like super duper close. We were going there all the time. Intermingling with both sides of our families. Like we would see, it was like everybody was over. Thanksgivings were huge. Like the house was crowded. Everybody sitting on the floor eating. Like I feel like we had a really, really good childhood in terms of like family interactment. Like we definitely
very family oriented.
Yeah, for sure.
Which we still are.
Yeah.
We see like at least I know you live in Chicago, but down here, like mom throws, you know, family breakfast.
Yeah.
Now every other Sunday. But it used to be every Sunday.
Yeah. Exhausting.
You know? Yeah. And so it's like, wow, like, you know, you see family pretty often, which is nice. It's good.
Yeah. What do you feel like being a tia has like changed you at all? Like, do you feel like, I don't know, what tia duties? Do you feel responsible for that? Like, do you feel like it shaped your life in any way becoming a tia?
I feel like yes. I feel like I see the kids do things for the first time. So like it heals a part of me. Mm-hmm. I do see where we're role models for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, oh wow, like the things that I wear or the things that I like, because they're always asking me like, what do you like? What's your favorite song? Mm-hmm. You know, they want to get to like know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they'll definitely do things just to hang out with you. Mm-hmm. Like at one point I was doing Legos when I lived here in my parents' house. And I had like Danny and Savannah. They were all like, we were all taking turns doing Legos. And it was just like, they just want to interact with you.
Yeah.
In any way.
Yeah.
So I definitely enjoy it. Camille reminded me, she's like, you did not go to my game on Saturday.
Oh, she said that?
Yes, on Sunday. She's like, you didn't go to my game. She's like, so you would have known how it went if you went to my game.
Oh, I was like,
okay.
Well, I'm not going to next week. I was like, that's one thing too that I've noticed is like whenever I'm home, I feel the need to go to everything. And so I feel like we were talking about this the other day, like I feel like I'm overexerting myself just because I want to be around for everything. But in the reality of life is that like you can't go to everything because saying yes to them is saying no to you. And that's not fair to you either because, like, you know, your days off are limited. You have things that you want to do, errands that you need to run. You have friends that you want to see.
Yeah. But I think it's very different for you and I because I get to have the chance where I can drop everything and go to something. Versus
I just
you,
don't.
offline. You're like, okay.
No, I'm saying, like, you could. You just choose not to.
I mean, I do my best to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't, like, sometimes I do go out of my way, but there's times where I'm like, okay, like, I have to do something for myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. You have the opportunity to decide, but whenever I'm here, it's like I just want to be at everything.
Yeah. But I make up for, like, I guess lost time.
It's not necessarily, I don't feel the need that I need to make up anything. It's that I actually want to spend time with them. It doesn't feel like from a pity mindset. It's just kind of like I want to do this.
Yeah.
So,
but also, do you feel that way because you're not here often?
Probably. I do get like,
do you think you would choose yourself a little bit more in terms of like hanging out with them if you were living here?
I think yes. I think it'd be a harder thing to happen. Like, for example, me and Cammie stayed the night here one night and I had to do work. I'm like, I have the podcast. I have things I gotta do. And so like I had the TV on in the background and like they were watching stuff. So it's kind of like spending quality time together. I did have that little part of me that was like, I wish I could be hanging out with them and like actively participating.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I have work I gotta do. So I think it's a fine line to walk. And I have noticed, like, obviously I'm not here for like bigger things. I'm more so here for the little things.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's what you do at that time that matters.
I agree.
It's like, sure, I could show up for a birthday, but it's like,
if you're on your phone the entire time, it's like, well, what?
Yeah, it's like, you showed up, but yeah, it's like those
you physically showed up, just not like
being present.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I try to actively be more present with them. Yeah, I love them. I love them so much.
I know.
They're the world to me. Like, that's why I feel like I don't have the need to like have kids because for me,
they fulfill
like,
that for you.
Yes, I'm like I love them with everything in me, and I'm sure that being a parent is that times a billion. But I'm like, that is enough for me.
I agree.
The love that I have for them.
I agree.
Yeah. So you heard it here first. Wrap it up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because we get asked about kids, which is crazy because they don't necessarily ask you directly, but they talk about it to like Cameron and things like that, like mentioning kids. But I don't feel like they necessarily like directly ask you versus like compared to me.
Yes. Vertonia said your eggs are expiring.
Yeah, bro. She was there for that conversation, so like he can't keep on denying it. You were there at the table. Yeah, it was at like one of Grandpa's parties or like a Almazan Thanksgiving.
I thought for always I leave these conversations.
There.
I remember you always having these conversations, and
no, like Johnny. I think Johnny and Jessica were there, and there was like a table full of family, and then my brother's telling me that like basically my eggs are dying, and how you're only given a certain amount of eggs, and how I need to have kids because basically my eggs are dying. And this was years ago. This was probably like 3 or 4 years ago.
It was that long ago? That was like maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, so maybe 2 years ago. But still, I'm like, bro, I'm still young. And for you to be like, your eggs are dying, it's like,
that's wild.
I just became an adult.
It's because they had kids young.
Oh, for sure.
So I think for them, they don't get to see. We get to actually, not to say they don't get to enjoy their, their 20s. They enjoyed it in a different way that they wanted to.
Yeah.
And we get to enjoy it the way we want to.
Yeah,
and there's no right or wrong. I mean, they got married very young,
For those who don't know, we have 2 older brothers. We're just kind of like throwing out names and stuff. We have 2 older brothers. Our oldest brother's name is Tito. He's 35. He turns 36 in August.
No, he turns 37. I'm 26. Right now we're exactly 10 years, yeah.
So he's old. I can't remember. So he's 30. He's 36. Wow. Okay, so Tito's 36.
I know.
And then Tonio is 32.
I always say 32. But
29, 30, 31, 32, 30. Tonio's 33.
I know. I always say 32 for him.
I have to count. He's 5 years older than me. That's how I remember that. But a lot of people actually don't know that we have older brothers because of that big gap. Yeah. So, like, my mom will say that she had 2 different phases of her life because for a long time it was just her and the boys. And then she had, like, waited 5 years and she had Gio and I, and Gio and I are 2 years apart.
Yeah. And a lot of people who know us don't know that we have older siblings.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. Yeah, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, your brothers. Or, like, I've never met your brothers. Like, they just heard that we have them, but they don't really, like, see them or anything. Which I think about sometimes because I'm, like, a little bit more tomboy than you. But I think it's because for a little bit, it was just me with older brothers. And for you, comparatively, who's girlier, you or me? You know that the answer is you.
But I don't know. I feel like you were very into, like, stuffed animals. Like,
but what does that have to do
I feel like that's very, like, girly, no?
I'm not saying... I'm just a child. I'm just
a child at heart.
I don't think... I mean, if you want to say that that's girly, I feel like that's just more like you're saying, like, being in touch with your inner child. But I feel like you're just a little bit girlier than I am. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that it's because you had a sister growing up.
Yeah.
Like, you had, like, me. And then obviously you had, like, there's still a decent amount of women in our family. But, like, I didn't really grow up with a girly, like, grandma's not very girly.
No.
Mom is now. I don't really remember back then if she was. Kind of, but not really.
She also grew up with brothers.
Exactly. So it's kind of like her version of girly's not as girly as other people.
Yes.
Because she's still kind of tomboy. Like my mom's tomboy in the sense that, like, she doesn't mind getting dirty. She's always watching sports. She loves sports. Like, the lady's obsessed with, like, literally anything. She'll know who gets traded, who gets this, whatever. Like, I'm not, like, to that degree, you know, but she was in a household full of men.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm, like, a little bit less than her. Like, I feel like you're the girliest out of me, mom, and you.
I would say, yeah.
I'd probably go, like...
What do you consider girly?
I don't know. I feel like you're usually, like, put together and, like, you're...
Clean girl aesthetic.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like you just have that, like...
I think I've got in touch with more girliness and, like, my pink once I met Cameron.
Uh-huh.
They always say, like, someone will bring out the girliness in you.
Yeah, that feminine energy.
Yeah, the feminine energy.
I feel
which is so true.
Yeah. Can't relate.
Like, we're like the epitome of, like, feminine and masculine energy.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think y'all for sure, yeah, that's that balance. But I think with, like, mom and dad, I still feel like mom's energy is more masculine than feminine. Or what do you think? Like, she has more masculine energy than feminine energy.
But I think it's because she just had a hard time when she grew up.
Right. So for me, what do you think? Do you think I have...
You're definitely more masculine.
I was going to say the same thing. I definitely think I'm more masculine.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Read my tarot cards. Like, read my palm. No, I think the same thing. I feel like I don't know if I have not met I don't think anybody that I've dated has really put me into my feminine energy. I feel like in some ways they have. But go ahead.
You can go.
This is what therapy's taught us. Your turn. Mine, be quiet. But I think for me, I think it's harder for me to put myself into my feminine energy because I'm not used to somebody taking care of things. For me, it's been like in college, it was like I had to lug up my cases of Gatorade up 3 flights of stairs. You know, like that shit was fucking hard. You know, moving myself out of apartments, I've had to do it like with just girlfriends. You know, like I've had to do a lot of things on my own that I do think sometimes I am a little bit like hyper masculine because of that.
But I think, I don't know, it's also the way we grew up, because I feel like I was very masculine at one point. That, like, because dad made us, like, we grew up being like, you know, don't rely on a man, you know, like, do it yourself, like, you can do it. And I think that puts you in a masculine mindset of, like, no, I'm independent. Yeah. And I can be independent versus surrendering yourself to being like, no, you take care of it. Yes. Like, I can tell Cameron being like, hey, can you do this? And he will. Yeah. And there's no questions about it. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But it's so interesting in relationships where, like, I was telling dad about it, where it's like, well, you were there too. Yeah. You know, like, in a relationship, you kind of put your beliefs, you know, your partner's beliefs, and you create your beliefs, not to beliefs, but like the way you grew up.
Yeah.
You know, like this is how I grew up, this is how you grew up, and we make our own.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, do you think someone, I'm going like everywhere.
It's fine. I do that.
Do you think that your relationships, they try to put you in your feminine energy and you just like back it? You know, like you're like, oh no.
I think I've only dated, I don't know, I feel like they put me in my feminine energy in very, very different ways. Each of the people that I've dated, like the first person I dated, I feel like wasn't necessarily vocally telling me like, oh, you're beautiful or things like that, like words of affirmation. So I had to ask for that at some point. I had to be like, you don't even like compliment me. I remember, this was somebody I dated for 4 years coming from like high school into college. I remember they saw me at prom and they didn't say anything, like, and their mom had to be like, doesn't she look so beautiful? And he was just like, oh yeah, you look beautiful. But like, he didn't think about that. But I was also like the first girl he ever really dated. But I guess he didn't see love that way. And so I think the second person that I dated did in some ways put me in my feminine energy, but in a lot of ways they put me into even more of a masculine energy.
Yeah.
Because they struggled with their own self-esteem. And so it just like, whenever they were good, I was in my feminine energy. They were opening up the doors for me. They were, you know, every night. I mean, I would get told like, thank you for washing the dishes. Thank you for walking the dog.
But that's appreciated. You want to feel seen.
Yeah. And I did. Yeah.
And you also don't want to ask for things, but you realize, no, I have to communicate. Like, or else I'm putting unrealistic expectations onto you.
And he was also a gift giver. Mm-hmm. Very much so. Like we loved music. That's what we bonded over a lot. So anytime like an album dropped, like anything was happening, he was getting me like cassette tapes, t-shirts, things signed. Like he got me a Selena Quintanilla Funko Pop that was limited edition. Like he very much so, like that was his way of showing love. So I do think in some ways he put me into my feminine energy like that. But like that man didn't ever cook. Like, I remember he would leave. I would get home from work exhausted. He was in school at the time. This man would leave out the cutting board and the knife for me. It was just like, this is my version of like helping you, like helping in the kitchen. Yeah. He did wash the dishes though. And he did do laundry. So he did do some things. And then in this situation, I feel like there are a lot of ways in which I am put in my feminine energy. Like, obviously like massages, like that's something that, you know, I've had in relationships, but it's something that like is a little bit more prioritized in this one. Or like, I think he's a little bit more thoughtful randomly. So like if I mention like my period, you know, coming or something, it's like he's the first to have like chocolates or treats or like flowers or something for me.
Yeah.
But I think more so it's the consistency of these things that is not the same. It'll be like I'm picking up more housework some days, the majority of the time, you know, I feel like it's not as consistent. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like,
you're like a stay-at-home
is it
mom?
Me? Mom? I'm gonna say how girlfriend, you're a stay-at-home mom to your man-child.
Tanika and Bruno.
I know. I think about that too.
To
my boys, my fur babies. I miss them.
I have boys too.
Yeah, house full of boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only girl. Just Louie and Cameron.
Yeah. 2 cats. We went by, so Joe's been wanting to adopt a cat. So if you think she should adopt a cat, comment down below.
I already have one cat.
Yeah, tuxedo cat. He's very
tuxedo,
cute.
Yeah. Louie. His name is
freckles.
Louie.
He's so cute.
He's very low maintenance, I feel like. Even though like cats are a little, I feel like are high maintenance, but Louie's very good. Louie's also older. He's 7 years old. I adopted him from the streets. No, I'm just kidding. He was the shelter, yeah. He was $14.
She got him on Valentine's Day, right?
No, it was the day before Valentine's Day.
The day before Valentine's Day. So he's a pre-Valentine's Day baby.
Yeah.
He's a cutie pie. And so Joe's been wanting to adopt another cat. And I think low-key, like mom and dad, if you're watching this, ignore this. But I mean, if you want another cat, why not get another cat? Like, why do they always have like something to say about that?
Cameron always tells me, he's like, we can get you another cat. My thing is I just want a cat that cuddles. Yeah. And it's sad to say because it's like, well, why do you just want an animal that just cuddles? But
I think that's okay.
I know, but like, I don't know.
It's like
I'm,
an
like,
emotional
debating
support
it.
animal. You want an
Louis
animal
is my
that
emotional support
no,
animal.
but he doesn't emotionally support you. You
Yes,
know
he
what I'm
does.
saying? Okay,
You better cut that out. He's certified. He's a certified emotional
he's
support.
a certified emotional support animal. But what I'm saying is he doesn't fulfill that. He technically is an emotional support animal. You think your landlord's gonna watch this? Your landlord is not watching this.
Government. He's not. He's not. $800. Here's your bill. Here's your bill. Review time.
Gio's on the streets right now with Louis, the couch thrown out, everything.
Because he's technically not an emotional support animal.
No, he is technically your emotional support animal. What I'm telling you is that he does not emotionally support you in that way. Like, you want to be able to, like, pick up something and hold it and, like, squeeze it and be like, oh, you know, like, you want like an alive stuffed animal is what I call cats. It's just like a living stuffed animal. You want to be able to, like, hold it, squeeze it, cuddle it, tell it all your problems.
I'm gonna pick up Cameron.
Just like this giant man. Cameron is like 6'5", 6'5", by the way. So imagine Gio just like picking up this like giant baby like this. Have you done that with people that you dated? Carry them like babies?
No.
Oh,
I can pick them up off the floor.
I most definitely carried the people that have dated like babies, but like on my lap, not like. Why have I done that? Little. Don't ask me. No, one of them was over 6 feet tall. How tall was he? I don't remember, but I think he was 6'1". The second one? But I think I've carried them all like babies. Do they have mommy issues? No, not off the ground. That's heavy.
No, like in the pool? Or like how are you carrying them?
Probably like in the pool. Yeah, like you just like sit on my lap.
Oh, in the pool is different. You're talking about like, what do you mean picking them up? I'm talking about
like you're sitting on my lap on the couch and then I'm holding you like a baby.
Oh, okay. No, that's different.
Have you done that though?
Hold him like a baby? No.
Like if I were to just like pick you up, like sitting down and I hold you like a baby.
No, he does it to me.
Okay.
I mean, he'll lay on my lap with like a pillow and we're like watching something or whatever the case is. Yeah. I'm not like picking him up. You know, he'll pick me up. As you should.
Thanks for watching. We will see you all in part 2.